Staunton, Virginia. Stanton, Virginia.
North of Stanton.
I can never remember how to pronounce it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, just pretend there's no U in it.
Stanton, Virginia. The colors are still beautiful today. It's kind of sunny, but mostly cloudy at the same time. The sun just got eaten by some clouds. But we don't mind the less glare, but it's still a nice, beautiful day. It's 73 degrees, currently almost 12 p.m. noon Eastern time. Today's the last day of our road trip.
Day 21.
Yep, so we're gonna finish the state of Virginia, and then we say hello to Maryland, and then it's back to Pennsylvania.
You're forgetting a state, didn't you?
I guess there's a little bit of West Virginia, too.
There's actually more than there is Maryland.
Really?
Well, I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, I'm sorry for the bad description. I forgot West Virginia. I'll have to fix that later.
Martinsburg, and don't forget Bunker Hill.
Yes, Bunker Hill's where the 1776 Restoration Movement was camped out last summer to stand against a tyrannical government. We got to cover some of their rallies, which was pretty cool. It was very hot, though, because it was in the summertime on black asphalt. I even got to do my first speech there, which was pretty cool. You can find that out on my Rumble channel under Gwenny7, GWYNNY7.
Maybe someday there'll be a plaque along the road there.
That would be neat. Probably made it a little bit earlier day today, but we decided to figured better to go home with bags full of clean laundry rather than dirty laundry. So the motel had some nice laundry facilities, so that worked out. Before we went live, my dad was telling me how he saw someone had a laundry bag that just kept producing wash out of it. He kept stuffing it in the washing machine. It's like, how much could it take?
Oh, I know. At first, I didn't think much about it. The guy came in with a duffel bag of laundry. You know, he briefly said hello, and I was sitting there minding two dryers in the late stages of drying, and the washer was available. And he starts pulling stuff out of the duffel bag. Again, I don't think too much about it. But this goes on for a while. And that's when I start to notice, like, how much laundry has he got in the duffel bag, and how much is he shoving in that thing? And then it got to the point where he was shoving things into the washer. And then he had some kind of dry crystalline soap, and he sprinkled it on top. And it really looked like the thing was full at this point, because I could see...
From sitting.
Just sitting, you know, I could see over the top of his washer a little bit that the clothes was all the way to the top, and this sprinkling was all right on top of that. And I thought, oh man, that's like 2 loads of wash you just shoved in the thing.
It clearly says on the machine.
But I guess he was going to get his $2 worth. And then some.
I just wonder how clean his clothes are going to...
And then it gets to a point where it gets into this agitation cycle, and there was a huge bang. And then the thing just sounded sick, like it was struggling to agitate. Yeah, I was tempted. And it went through my mind about going to the front desk and saying, oh, by the way, I was doing laundry on the second floor. I just want to let you know that I'm not the one that's breaking the washer.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen, but somebody put 2 loads of wash in, 1 load of washer. That was bad. I'd never do that to our own washing machine.
Yeah, I don't know why people abuse laundry facilities. It's a nice thing to have when you're traveling.
I guess it's to save the $2.
I guess. Welcome to Piedmont.
Oh, guy's gonna wash our car for us.
Cool. Looks like he's staining his wood. So I don't think it was actually water. It smells like, I don't know. It don't smell like water. Let's put it that way.
Looking at one of the big mountains along the Blue Ridge Mountains, south of Front Royal, Virginia.
It's very beautiful to my right. I can see further mountains that are all colorful with the fall colors. Battle of Piedmont marker.
It was crazy busy south of Roanoke.
Yeah.
Interstate 81. I don't know when's a nice time to drive it anymore, but
It wasn't last night, that's for sure.
it was better further north later, but still. So one guy, he was pulling cars, like a car trailer. We thought he was going to drive off the inner side of the highway.
Yeah.
He was really close to the guardrail over there too.
Oh, that could have been bad.
That was north of Buchanan, Virginia, I think, when we saw that. Yeah, I was still deciding which way I want to go today. But you stole my map.
I'll give it back to you. It's kind of heavy to have it on your lap all the time.
Yeah, I know. I don't mind for a while.
There's your map. Look at the cows.
Thank you.
Cows.
Oh, Texas.
Yeah.
Don't need as much acreage when the grass grows.
Now, if the stream cuts out, that's probably because we lost cell service. Because not everywhere has good cell service. That's what happened yesterday, and then it got dark, so that's why we didn't come back live again yesterday. Just ended up being too dark by the time service was reliable.
So it looks like we can stay on 608 until it gets to Route 256. And we can either go east or west. I think we've gone this way before, but I'm not sure. I know there was a trip we took. We were heading to North Carolina to visit relatives, and you and your brother were pretty young. We had some rainy days. We stayed in Waynesboro a couple of days. We did some traveling out on these roads. Went to the Natural Chimneys Park.
Oh, cool.
It's up near Harrisonburg. Actually, a little southwest.
What road are we on right now?
608. Near New Hope, Virginia.
Okay.
Rockfish Road.
Does it go to Rockfish Gap?
It must, ultimately. All right, so it becomes 865 here. That means we're already past New Hope.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we might have skipped New Hope or just didn't see a sign for it.
So I think when I get to 256, I'm going to head west to Wyers Cave and then head north on 276. Had featured sticky floors. Didn't want to walk around. The honey dripped all over the floor.
Now that makes much more sense why it would be sticky though. Not so sure about a hotel or motel room. Unless someone spilled soda or something.
I'm guessing the ants will have it all cleaned up by the time we get home.
I don't know. People in the river, so I don't know. Maybe it's just the way the laminate is. I don't know.
Well, it's better than having carpets that they don't vacuum.
Yeah, and I think because we were on the second floor, we didn't get a dog room because the dogs were all on the first floor.
Ah.
So my allergies aren't as bad today.
So maybe that's why we should go second floor.
Yeah. Dealing with some messages related to our solar group.
Yeah, we had another hearing last night that we missed.
Yeah, nice of the township to schedule them all on our trip when they could have done it 3 times previously. It was supposed to be August, and then it was supposed to be September, and then it was supposed to be the first week of October, and then they kicked the can to make it all happen on our trip.
I'm sure that was planned.
I think they figured if I wasn't there, it wouldn't get recorded. They didn't realize we have a secret weapon. I mean, person that can record.
How would they know what your schedule was, though?
I don't know. We had been mentioning about the solar eclipse, though.
I think it was just the way it worked out.
Yeah, it's just a coincidence. Though it does feel like they're bending over backward to accommodate the solar company. First hearing date was bad for so many people, and they had no warning. They sent the letters out so late, people got them after the first hearing.
I wonder if they bend over backwards for individual citizens that are trying to do things like, build a garage in their backyard.
I doubt it.
Big money. Alright, here we're going to take 276 north. We're going to go to Route 33.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work to catch up on all the hearings because the first 2 or 3 hours, and this third one was 4. So, looking at 7 hours of catch up. Not to mention reading through documents and exhibits. My brain hurts just thinking about that. We'll just think about that later. I'm gonna just enjoy the colors.
Yeah, I wouldn't think about it too much. It's like when you get back home, then you can start to think about what priorities there are.
Though I am looking forward to saying hi to my kitty cat, Simon. And Spice. I'm sure they miss us. I'm not sure if the birds will recognize us anymore. Or if they'll think Brian's their new parent.
I don't know. The way they carry on every time I go in there, I don't think they ever recognize me.
I think it's just the temperament of guineas. They only know one way to talk, and it's loud. You know when they're really upset, like when you run the vacuum, that's the upset loud. So if they're not doing that, then odds are it's a more friendly. Because you know what I mean. They all cram in the corner. Yeah, it sucks. It'll be interesting to know if our garden survived, though.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. See if we make it before dark. We never get into our destination before dark. Except when we went to Hobbs.
Alamogordo we made it in before dark.
That's true. It was still daylight there.
Because we were there for the sunset and the train.
What did we end up doing that first night? We didn't go anywhere, did we?
Yeah, we did. We went to Pizza Hut.
No, that's not what I meant. I mean, did we do any sightseeing?
Nah, we were tired. We had done all that hiking with the train trestles, so our legs were just exhausted.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
It was kind of like unpack, figure out what we're doing for dinner, come back, take a shower, and crash.
We probably wouldn't have been because of all that hiking we did.
Yeah. We thought about it going there for like the sunset and stuff, but I think it was the right decision to postpone it.
Yeah, I don't think we were gonna make it either.
No. It was another 25 miles, and I think we would have missed it. It would have been like when we went to Soto Vista and Big Bend for the sunset. We were 15 minutes too late. You could still see the sun's, like, you know, rays and stuff in the cloud bank, but that was pretty much it.
Well, I wouldn't have wanted to cut that canyon hike short because that was really good.
Yeah. Seeing the old train trestles, that was neat. Still there? Oh.
I was talking Big Bend, you're talking White Sands, but that's fine. They were both situations where
I thought we were talking about White Sands.
if you would have wanted to see sunset, you would have had to see.
Yeah, true. That canyon hike was really cool. We went to I forget the name of the mesa, but it's like the pour off for it.
Burro Mesa.
And you could literally go where the water goes. So I, of course, daringly went all the way up to touch the wall, even though we had heard rocks fall earlier elsewhere in the mesa. It's like, well, we've gone this far. Can't not touch it now, you know? I see gourds and pumpkins. And corn. Hard to believe it's going to be Halloween soon. We don't really celebrate it, but it's cool to see the decorations that people put up.
bees don't mind having colonies right next door like that?
Well, remember how I said that you're supposed to have a different mark on the boxes so they know, or different colors?
Yeah.
That helps them know which home is their home. The biggest problem is when you have them that close is when it's time to harvest the honey, because it's going to be harder to take the honey out because there's a lot more bees. You have a risk of what they call robbing or feeding frenzy, where you're trying to pull the honey out and they smell it and they all come out and try to go for it. Stores, you know. I guess that's something else we'll have to figure out if we want to move the beehive a little. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It might be 15.
Well,
They're all along the fence.
must be busy with bees around here.
Yeah.
Will go? How far they will travel to find a new home?
I don't recall off the top of my head. I just know they don't go very far in the first 24 hours. They stay fairly close to the original home for the first 24 hours. That's typically where you'll get the phone calls from people saying, oh, there's this big swarm of bees on my car or a picnic table. That typically means that they have just left their home and they sit there for 24 hours to basically wait for the scouts to come back. Because basically what they do is they send scouts out looking for suitable places, and then the scouts give their reports, and then they make their decision, and then they go to their new home. So they typically look for dead trees or anything that's going to be dry. Good place to build a hive. And sometimes it happens to be your back porch roof that was leaking, that's been tarped, so it's dried out. So sometimes they like that, which was what happened in our case. They are enjoying the roof as their home. Beekeeper took off the roof and they just were totally pretty chill, just sitting in there. You know, like they didn't care that we took the roof, like the underside off. So it's better to go from the bottom because the honeycomb's attached to the top. So less risk of dropping it. Are we getting some of these things called raindrops?
I don't know. It could be.
We haven't seen raindrops in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There was one spot we saw some raindrops, but I don't remember where it was.
I think it was in Oklahoma. Cloudy.
Yeah.
It was windy, and the lady said the night before, I'm surprised it's not raining. I think it was just like a few sprinkles. Wasn't enough to be considered rain. Oh, it's a lavender farm. White oak lavender. That's cool. Always wanted to visit one of those.
Junction 253. We go straight.
But yesterday it was pretty neat at the Natural Tunnel State Park in Virginia. Never been there before, and we stopped at the park office and had a really nice chat with the ranger. And they have a pollinator garden there, and they had really pretty purple asters, and the honeybees were loving it. And so were some of the other types of bees and wasps. Pollinators were going to town. But it was a perfect example because we've been reading and studying about bees with having our beehive now, to see the actual pollen baskets on the bees getting filled with pollen. So that was pretty neat. So if you want to see some photos of that, I did post that on the community page on my YouTube channel. So check that out. I'll try to post some things on Facebook whenever I get caught up at home. But it was pretty neat to be able to take a picture and then zoom it in. You could actually see the honeybees carrying the pollen. On the one photo, you'll see that the nectar and pollen's all over her face. It's the female worker bees that are going out collecting. So that was pretty cool.
Some people riding horses down there on the right.
Oh, really?
Coming up Yeah, definitely some raindrops. Zoom, zoom.
Oh, there's some rocks here in the pasture.
Just past 5,200 miles now on the trip. We're 200 miles over budget.
Well, you were estimating.
Yeah, I knew for a while now that we weren't going to get in within 5,000.
Cows.
Picking up more traffic as we get closer to Harrisonburg.
Trying Caterpillar. Called the hay that they stuck for where it's a long line of Caterpillar. Sometimes they'll paint them. It all started with what, a Caterpillar in Virginia that we saw?
It was in New York State, south of Syracuse. Somebody had decorated their plastic bags of hay. Looked like a caterpillar.
Yeah, because each bale was a different color or print. It was really cool. We've seen them occasionally in other places, though.
It's suburban Harrisonburg. Urban sprawl.
Have we crossed the border yet?
What border?
I guess I confused that with Martinsburg. Never mind. I thought Harrisonburg was in West Virginia. It's Martinsburg.
Have a preference which way you go?
No.
We're going to go left towards Harrisonburg.
Franklin, West Virginia, 44. Raleigh Springs, 16. Raindrops are just smeary on the window. Canadian geese are hanging out at this pond on the right. Lawnmower. It's a car with bad exhaust. last night is it's going up the hills and they're like, slow down. It's like you're losing your momentum up the hill anyway.
Oh, I think you're thinking of Route 460. The speed limits were always changing on that road.
Oh, maybe you're right. Last night kind of became a blur after a while.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was a long haul in the dark. US 460 to 81. And there was the ghost gas station we stopped at.
Yeah, that was annoying. It had the right gas price, it's just...
Everything worked except it didn't pump gas.
Yeah. TVs are blaring.
And then I saw the note, sorry for the inconvenience. Won't pump gas when the store is closed. Because there's no light switch to turn off the lights at the gas pump.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, Exxon saved the day.
Yeah, they were down the street about a mile. Same situation, store was closed, but the gas pumps worked.
We saw some highway robbery in terms of gas pricing on our way to Stanton. Some places as high as like $3.50.
Guess it's supply and demand.
Wow, that McDonald's is literally wrapped all the way around, double drive-through. The whole thing is packed. That's crazy. But it's lunchtime.
If you want convenient gas by the side of the interstate, you got to pay for it. Kind of a lousy situation for local folks that live along a highway like that, where they're subjected to the inflated prices because of the demand.
Ever hear of Cookout?
Is it a restaurant?
Yeah. Apparently they cook your burgers and hot dogs over fire.
Oh.
Thought that was interesting. Hey, there's a Howard Johnson. Those are rare.
Yeah. I opted to go this way because it's a little bit more direct, but unfortunately we're going to hit some traffic through Harrisonburg. They could meander along the Blue Ridge.
Yeah, just 25-mile-an-hour work zone because of them closing both the shoulders.
And the endless red lights.
Yeah, that's not helping.
about 4 miles on 81.
So we get where?
There's an exit to get to Route US 11.
Welcome to the meat grinder. say in Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts. I love that classic line in the movie.
Yeah, that is one of the better lines, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm doing a meeting announcement for our group, so that's why I'm not talking too much. I'm having to text multiple people.
It's Gwenny's mobile office, too.
Yeah.
For the last 21 days.
Mobile office.
You've been in and out of the office, though.
Yeah.
Lacey Springs, 5 miles. Got a 3-lane section of US 11. $3.39 on the gas there. Definitely charging a premium.
Yeah, definitely. I was noticing that the further you go north in Virginia, around the interstate, it was anywhere between $3.35 to like all the way to $3.49 in some places.
Everywhere has been cheaper than Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's sad. Gonna go home to get price gouged on gas. Sucks.
It's the tax gouging is what goes on.
Yeah, I know. Well, out of all the states we visited, I'd say Tennessee and Virginia would be the two options to possibly move to.
Yeah, you can stand the warmer weather.
I love New Mexico and Texas because of the less humidity, but it gets too hot in the summer.
Here's the way 3-lane highways were designed to be: alternate passing each direction. Turned out to be dangerous.
Yeah, because you got people passing both directions, which would be bad. Hey, Melrose Caverns to the left.
Yeah, I saw the sign on 81. If you're interested in cavern touring,
I love
there's one here.
caverns. They're really neat. But again, it goes back to me loving rocks and archaeology, paleontology, geology. Just all that stuff fascinates me.
The problem with the alternate passing was the potential head-on collisions and the left turn problem. If you wanted to turn left, you had to be in that passing lane. People rear end you.
I actually saw that happen in Hamburg when I was at physical therapy. You know that section that's across the way at the bottom of the hill there?
Yeah.
The guy was turning left and you got rear-ended because the guy was passing someone and didn't realize the guy in front of him was turning left.
Yep, that's a problem on the. That's a 4-lane road there, I think.
Yeah.
But there's no center lane to turn.
Nope.
That happened to me. I didn't get rear-ended, but the car that got rear-ended got pushed through the intersection into my lane of traffic. I grew up on a 3-lane highway, and in the early years, they had, like, the white dotted line there was on both sides, that either side could choose to pass in the middle lane.
Really?
Yeah.
That's different. I like this color of this Jeep. It's pretty. Pretty blue. We're in Lacey Spring.
Lacey Spring Road, off to the left.
I saw a sign for the elementary school too.
There was some historical marker about Abraham Lincoln's father.
Yeah, I couldn't read it. It was a little hard to read.
There's another cave coming up a few miles on the right called Endless Caverns.
Oh, neat.
That was actually marked on the map. The other one wasn't. Will be 81 will be either going over or under us soon. And we'll be on the east side of the highway. This is called Valley Pike. A lot of sections of US 11 are called Lee Highway. I have to wonder how long before the political revisionists will get that changed.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember this section of highway though, because you can see the mountain all along the right.
Yeah, it's pretty. The other option was to take 340, which is much closer to the mountain. That takes you up through Front Royal. That's not a bad way to go either. But I seem to remember there was a lot more truck traffic on 340. Where Route 11, you don't have that. The trucks are on 81. Liberty Gas, only $3.45.
Ouch. That's almost as bad as home. Home was $3.49.
Is it really?
Yeah. But you know how they play the price games. They might have jacked it up for Friday because of the weekend. That's what it was last night when I checked it.
Yeah.
But sometimes they do the weekend gouge you. And with the fall colors, I wouldn't be surprised if places are doing that.
Well, I think for a while I'm going to have the policy of, do I need to go out?
Yeah.
The answer in the short term is going to be, yeah, I do. I'm going to have to get supplies, take care of some things. But I don't want to drive as much. After driving a good chunk of 5,000 miles in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Car needs some maintenance too.
I was debating about whether we should go through a car wash. Rub all that dust and sand off.
Do you want to collect it? Wipe it off and save it?
Nah.
Pennsylvania weather should take care of that.
True. It is supposed to rain on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday.
So basically we'll have one day of dry weather when we get home. I guess that's fair. That's a reasonable thing.
Yeah.
How are your legs today?
They're tired. But look, there's the Endless Caverns sign on the hill.
Oh, wow.
I know how big that is if we can
That's,
read it this far away.
That's definitely eye pollution there.
Yeah, they had to chop a lot of trees down to put that up. I wonder how much they charge to go to work.
Because your big ugly sign on the mountain, we're never going to visit your caverns.
Apparently you can stay in cottages there. It's actually a resort.
Interesting.
Nestled in 265 lush acres in the Shenandoah Valley. It's an Endless Caverns RV resort. Hiking and mountain biking trails, underground caves on a guided tour. Then pool, fishing, sunset views, cozy campfires. Wow, it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's not just a cavern.
Which probably means it costs more. Being a resort. Apparently there's an indoor water park nearby.
Endless Caverns. Here it is.
Yeah.
RV resort. Have to ask our friends if they've ever gone there. They like to go to places in their RV.
Oh yeah.
Looks like Thornton's Gap there on the right. Just off the view here, unfortunately. But Gwenny can see it.
Yeah, I see it.
You got Rockfish Gap near Waynesboro, then Swift Run Gap is where Route 33 cuts through. That's Thornton's Gap. Skyline Drive runs through there. Starts at Rockfish Gap, goes north to Front Royal. I only took it once, and it was after riding the Blue Ridge, and I found the whole thing to just be tedious. 35-mile-an-hour speed limit.
Really?
Yeah, and it costs money to do it. We did it just because we did the whole parkway. Like, let's do Skyline Drive too, but I think we were ready to go home.
Yeah.
So it's just a way to, it just dragged things out, so we didn't enjoy it like we should have. I think if you're going to do it, just plan that that's what you're going to do that day. If you have time left over, great. You'll enjoy it more. But it's not a good way to go, just as an alternate to go somewhere. Like we've taken the parkway, legs of the parkway, because they're kind of on the way to where we're going. That works better.
The cavern tour apparently is 75 minutes long with a guide.
That's pretty good.
They say it's the longest commercial cave tour in the whole state of Virginia. They charge $25 a person.
Ouch.
For anybody over 13 and older. If you're between 4 and 12, you're $14. If you're aged 3 or under, you're free. So I don't know how well you'll remember it, which is probably why I can't imagine a 3-year-old remembering much of a cave tour. But I could be wrong. I don't really remember much when I was 3.
Yeah, me neither. I was 4 years old when we moved away from Allentown, and I don't have many memories of the place we lived at in Allentown. Just kind of snippets, I guess you could say. Little fragments of memory of different things. I can't say that I could remember any conversation. So it's just images in my head.
Yeah.
The layout of the house. Kind of remembering a little bit of Christmas, I'd say.
They say the cavern temperature is 55 degrees year-round. Just under a mile in length.
It's not bad.
No. No pets, food, or strollers, or baby back carriers. Apparently you can carry the baby in the front, but not the back. No tripods, but cameras are permitted. It's like when we were talking about how the Canon camera couldn't really see well in Carlsbad Caverns.
Right.
I'm guessing they banned tripods too. It would just get in the
Pods up all the time.
Yeah, and it'd just be a trip hazard in the dark.
See a witch hanging out here? See her?
Yeah.
Past the fire hydrant?
Next to the cannon.
Yeah.
She looks fairly friendly. Nice sized pumpkin.
This is Newmarket. Up here, at the light, you turn right, you can head through Thornton's Gap. Really pretty country on the other side. And Luray Cavern is probably the biggest cavern.
It says Luray Caverns to the right.
Yeah. I was there many years ago. They also have an antique car museum.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. I like antique
Yeah, you'd probably
cars.
like it. 'Cause you like both of the caves and antique cars.
Got to go to my first car show this year, and it was really neat. You can check that out. I have a gimbal video of that on my YouTube channel and Facebook as well.
But I'm guessing that the going price is $20-something to do a cave these days.
Yeah.
Makes Carlsbad look cheap.
I was trying to remember how much that was.
I think it might have been $15 a person.
I know we had to do the online dollar pre-reservation though. so that was another $2.
Yeah. So we're following the North Fork of the Shenandoah River, which is off to our right. Look at the fancy fences.
Yeah, I love this. I think there's a war memorial up here on the left.
Yeah, battlefield.
Civil War trails.
The Battle of New Market.
Yeah.
So here's an example of how a 3-lane highway works in the olden days.
Scary. Because he's over his line. There's a chicken hanging off the back. It's a rubber chicken. Apparently his knob or whatever broke for opening the back, so it's a rubber chicken to pull open the door. That's genius and kind of funny at the same time.
So he passed me to save
0 seconds.
Well, he'd seen I'd slowed down, so I guess he figured, I guess I'll pass. Not knowing how far he was going to be going. See how they turned a 3-lane highway into a 2-lane highway here. So it's pretty narrow. As you saw when the truck passed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Civil War plaques and history throughout this route. The Union waged a war of exhaustion against the Confederate states through the Shenandoah Valley. Had devastating impact on the region.
Shenandoah Caverns, 1.5 miles to the left. That's a lot of caverns.
Yeah, you could do a really good cavern tour just through this part of Virginia. think it's dyed seed, grass seed.
Oh, interesting.
Mount Jackson, Virginia now. So we head our way north. Go through 263. Towards Woodstock.
That's a famous place.
That was in New York.
I know. I was kind of kidding. The name is famous.
Yeah.
Fun. Tunnel. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was.
It was recommended by a ranger who grew up local to go fishing growing up. You have to carry all your stuff with you. There's no paths.
Cool. And we didn't fall in.
Yeah. We did feel the water. I mean, if you were really hot, it would feel good. But it was late afternoon, so the sun was. Would have been a little chilly if we had fallen in.
That place so.
Really? There's an old Texaco sign. Looks like they kept it up. Town are we in?
Mount Jackson.
I was working on my homework, so I wasn't able to pay attention to road signs. 3:45 here. Yowie.
We're just a little bit north of the town now.
That's fine.
Sounds was the Mack truck behind us.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, the engine sounded bad.
It's a big cement truck. And we're totally looking forward to having hundreds of those in Old 22.
Oh, yeah.
Since they approved the cement plant without really fixing the traffic possibilities, issues.
Snuck it right through.
Well, they claim they put conditions on it to investigate the traffic, but I don't know what exactly that means. If that was just to pacify all of us, or they're actually going to do something. Because pretty much PennDOT said, as long as it's under 1,000, it's considered low use.
They don't do anything unless people start dying.
It seems that way, which is awful. Because where they're going to pull out, it's just, there's not a lot of visibility.
But it's hard to stop accidents when you got somebody just coming through there at 80 miles an hour. It's just totally disregarding the speed limits.
Yeah.
Next town on this map is Edinburgh. Spelled with an I, E-D-I-N. We got some more nice stretch of 3-lane Route 11. What do you think of the fall colors here?
They're beautiful. Though it does look like some of the leaves have been ripped off already.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to take the fall color tours. There'll be no hockey games.
No, we missed a few games. The last one that's today is in Connecticut, so.
Really? They're playing today?
I believe so.
Yeah, there's a flood gauge.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen one of those in a while. They had them all over the place in Texas. Yeah, they play tonight at 5 p.m. Go Tigers.
This is the Yale game.
Yep. They have to win today if they want to get into the Ivy tournament to get a chance to go to the NCAAs with the automatic berth. If they don't win, depending on where the rankings fall out, depends whether or not you might get a wild card, but I don't think our rankings are high enough anymore. Fortunately, we lost a lot of seniors last year, and then we have one of our really good players away trying to help USA qualify for the Olympics. For collarbone in the first minute of the second game of the season. We've had a host of other injuries. Playing low on subs, and for some reason, coach decided to have us play 3 league games in like 8 days, which is insane. We've never done that before.
We have to see, though, if that was something everybody else was subjected to. She might have been stuck with it. I don't think she would have chosen to do that.
Well, you know, let me just check Harvard, because I'm curious.
For years, it was you played one conference game a week once the conference play began.
Yeah, I'm checking to see when it started. Let's see.
You know, and that could vary. It could be a Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday, but that was your one game a week that you played.
Yeah, so we played one on a Friday, one on a Wednesday, one on a Friday. So 3 in a week. So let's see if anybody else had that.
That's 3 games in 8 days.
And that's not including all the other games we had to play in that span.
We actually were playing other teams in between that.
Yeah. No, not between the conference ones, but we had to play game after them and before. 4. So now it's 3 conference games straight in a row. So let's see. Harvard didn't. Harvard literally had one a weekend. One on a Friday, played another on a Friday, played the next one on Friday, the next one on a Friday, and then they played us on a Saturday, and then on Saturday, and then they played it tomorrow on Saturday. Let's check Penn.
Something's not right.
That's not fair.
It's Edinburgh or Edinburgh. It might be Edinburgh.
Well, Penn had a similar schedule to us. They had to play on a Friday, and then a Wednesday, and then a Saturday. Ours was worse, though. We had to play a Friday, Wednesday, Friday. So they had one extra day off in between their last game.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, who was the one that we had to play on a Wednesday?
Penn.
That's it then. They had the same problem because we had the extra Penn game.
Yep.
Just like them, they had to play us, and we had to play them.
Yep.
Other
Two other
conference
games, yeah.
Like, what the heck?
But third game, and theirs was on a Saturday. I don't know.
It's the first time we've seen that in. We've been paying attention almost 20 years.
Yeah. I just thought it was suicide. It's like you never play more than one conference game a week.
No.
Like that's unheard of to play 2, let alone 3. You know?
Yeah.
So
Well,
like,
essentially that's what they did. They played 2. They played an extra game in between the normal schedule.
yeah.
And that's the one that went double overtime, too.
Well, our first one went to penalty shootouts, and then we lost to Penn a few days later in double overtime, and then we beat I think it was Brown.
So that's grueling to have a game like that.
Columbia didn't have that schedule, so right now it's just Penn and us.
Yeah, because we had the Penn game in the middle of the week.
Yep.
I guess the cement truck is taking a scenic route.
Yeah.
wonder why we and Penn could not play a normal schedule.
Yeah, I don't know. Especially since we were at their house in the beginning of the season. Like, why couldn't we just play them then?
Well, because we were playing the other teams. Louisville and University of North Carolina. What would be interesting is to see when did conference play start for Harvard versus us and Penn. Did they start conference play a week sooner? And we were doing something different? Because we had quite a few games that were non-conference in the beginning. We always have that crazy competitive schedule.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems weird to have three in a week like that.
The only reason I could see that happening is that we didn't start like the other teams did. That they started playing conference games a week earlier than we did.
Well, that's true, I think.
Or they had an extra weekend off somewhere in the schedule.
Let's see, Columbia started on September 1st. When did we have our first game?
First conference game?
No, first game. We played on September 1st. First conference game wasn't until September 22nd.
For Princeton.
Yeah. Which was really late, because normally we play a little earlier, I thought, than that.
Woodstock corporate limits.
Oh boy. Got a dusty lawnmower up ahead.
We lost our cement truck. It's turning.
Aww.
Seven Bends State Park.
How far away is that?
I don't know. Not too far. It's just to the east of Woodstock, apparently. There's our sheets.
Oh, wow.
The first sheets. The first one we've seen.
It's in Virginia, too.
Yeah, I know there's some in North Carolina as well. 3:45.
It looks mobbed. It's so busy.
We haven't seen a sheet since the second day of the trip.
Yeah, that was in Ohio. Zanesville, Ohio is the last sheets. It's free.
It's free anywhere else.
Air pump got attacked by a bear. So I couldn't really tell what was up with it because it just looked mutilated. Another thing I never understood. why do people beat up the air compressors? It's nice being able to put airs in your tires.
I remember not too far from home, and I had to find all the parts to the nozzle to put the air in the tire, because I went to put the air in and all the guts were missing. It's like, what's up with this? And I looked around and they were all laying on the ground. I was able to put it all back together and it worked. Trying to hold that wall in with some extra concrete.
Oh, I missed it.
It's like it's leaning pretty bad. Kind of ruins the look though. They have that big wedge of concrete in front of it.
Yeah.